Welcome to my channel. My name is Liana and this is Feed a Tribe. Okay folks, this is round 2 of 36 freezer meals to fill your freezer. In the first video, which I will link if you haven't seen it already, I made 21 of the 36 meals and today we're going to make the remaining 15. So buckle in and let's get cooking. So before we start cooking, let me show you what we got to complete these meals. Okay, we have a packet of baby spinach. And then we have lots of zucchini, as well as some parsley and lots of red onions. This stuff is all for zucchini slice. Then we have lots of mushrooms, lots of frozen capsicum. This stuff is really handy. We have some diced zucchini. I can't remember if this is for something or whether this might just be for my regular shopping, to be honest. Some potatoes, some pumpkin, some pre-diced frozen onion. There's 3 packets of that. It is a real time saver. And they've actually just put the price on this down as well, which is fantastic. It's only $1.60 a packet. I'd say it's the equivalent of about 3 onions. Yes, it's probably more expensive than 3 onions, but as far as convenience goes, it's worth it for me. 3 dozen eggs for those 3 zucchini slices that I'm doing, because all the meals I'm making times 3. 2 blocks of cheese and some Parmesan cheese. This is just the cheap Parmesan cheese. Again, it's for the zucchini bake and it will do. Then 12 cans of chickpeas. The chickpeas and the pumpkin, along with, I have another one of these pumpkins already. And the 6 cans of coconut milk are all for a chickpea pumpkin curry, which is one of my favourite dishes. It's delicious. And then we've also got diced tomatoes. That'll be for a couple of stews I'm doing. I'm doing a beef stew and I'm doing a lamb stew. So I've got 6 tins of tomatoes and a couple of tins of pineapple slices. This, along with some of the red capsicum, some of the onion, the mushrooms, and then also black olives, are for pizza topping, ready to go pizza topping. Scone mixture, again, this is to go with the zucchini bake. And the zucchini bake is not my recipe. I will try and link it in a way that I can acknowledge the person who gave me the recipe, but someone gave it to me on Instagram. I've just changed it up a little tiny bit, I think, but it's a fantastic recipe and it's really versatile. So, to get the 15 meals today, I am making 5 different dishes 3 times over. The first meal I'm making is a zucchini bake. Now, I got this recipe from a lovely woman on Instagram and I will try to leave the link below. I changed it up a little bit, mainly because a couple of the ingredients are more difficult to come by here in Australia. So, for instance, I'm using a scone mixture, a pre-packet scone mixture, instead of something else that she was using. And I will try to find the original recipe that she gave me for my American viewers, because she is in America. Now, this zucchini bake is something. It is amazing. My husband Anthony does not like zucchini and swears he can taste it in anything. Spaghetti bolognese, burgers, casseroles. Doesn't like it. Doesn't care for it in any way, shape or form. But he loves this zucchini bake. So for someone who does not care for zucchini to love a zucchini bake is saying something about that zucchini bake, isn't it? Keeping in mind I'm making 3 meals of zucchini bake for a family of 12. So if you have, say, 4 people in your family, just one lot will probably feed you 3 times over. Or if you do as much as I did, you'll end up with up to 9 freezer meals, which is super exciting. And I think I would be tempted, if I had less people in my family, to continue just to make the big batch. Okay, so it looks like we've got millions of eggs here, but really half of these are half full. I'm using 12 eggs per zucchini bake. I am using about 150 grams of baby spinach per batch. I am using 1 packet of this Parmesan cheese per batch. I'm also grating some cheddar cheese and using a couple of cups of that per batch, so I'll probably get another block out of the fridge, I'm thinking. Some lazy garlic, continental parsley, you could use any parsley I suppose, 3 red onions per batch, and the equivalent of 3 large zucchinis per batch. So I would say that that one is quite large, but these ones are much smaller, so I'm just going to use all 3 packets. So each of these packets are 750 grams. That's how much I'm using per batch. I'll put some salt and pepper in, and I'm using about a cup of vegetable oil per batch. Usually I don't use vegetable oil for anything, and indeed you could change that up for an oil you feel more comfortable with, but this is like a Friday treat meal for our household. Usually I count points, Weight Watch points. However, on Fridays, I have whatever I want for dinner and I have dessert. So I will simply make this a Friday meal. This is the scone mixture that I'm using. And I'll say this, when I make actual scones, I make them from scratch. So whatever you would put in that, I would think would work. Now, before I get started on these zucchini bakes, another meal that I'm doing today, times 3, is a chickpea pumpkin curry, which is going to be one of those slow cooker freezer meals that I just put all the ingredients in a bag and freeze it, and it's ready to dump into the slow cooker and cook. There is one pre-cooked ingredient in that though, and that is pumpkin puree. So I'm going to turn my oven on, cut up a lot of pumpkin, get that happening, and then we'll get on to the zucchini bake. And my advice to you is to do things from hardest to easiest, because as you get more tired throughout your freezer meal prep, having easier and easier things to do is a real help, and you've got the hard yakka out of the way. And I have a question. So I'm going to have, once I finish all this, 6 weeks worth of meals. And though I will do another 6 weeks worth of freezer meal prep in another month, so I look forward to that. In the meantime, I'm going to have a little extra time on my hands because I don't have to cook an evening meal. So my question to you is, what would you rather? Some freezer meal prep desserts? That sounds a bit fancy. Some freezer meal prep breakfasts, or something else freezer meal preppy, because I'm thinking now that I'll have all these meals in my freezer for dinner, I could make life even easier and perhaps freeze some things, some slices for morning or afternoon tea, or some breakfast so that we can get into our school day quicker, or perhaps some low carb options for myself to have for lunch and maybe for when other people are having a higher carb dinner. If you like any of those ideas, let me know. So this is the onion situation. The one day that I choose to wear eyeliner out of like the entire year. All right, we have put in here the Parmesan cheese. I had to change my battery pack, so I didn't show it, but I've put pepper in here and salt in here as well. And it's a full bowl, but I still have to add all the egg mixture, so I'm going to crack 36 eggs into a bowl and give them a bit of a whisk and then put it in here. I think that'll be easier. Okay, you might see in the back there that the pumpkin is all ready. So hello, Isaac man.
Hi.
Do you want to say hello to the people?
Hi.
Hi, people.
Hi, people.
Of YouTube.
Love you, Pete.
Okay, so now I'm going to...
Mama.
You're not allowed to cough these days.
Mama.
Yeah?
I want to see the fire. Take a fire my hat. Take a fire my hat.
So now we're going to get the ingredients out for the pumpkin chickpea curry and pop that together. And I'm going to puree that pumpkin. So here I have the chickpea lentil pumpkin curry all bagged up. I had to double bag them because I actually used some old bags and they were leaking. But anyway, ready for the freezer. Nice vegetarian meal. I love this one. And there we have 2 lamb stews. I was going to make 3, but it was going to be just slightly not enough meat, so I've made 2. And this one I will also add potato to when I put it in the slow cooker, but potato doesn't freeze overly well unless it's cooked. Not that I would have been able to fit any potato in there. Jam-packed bags. Okay, so the first of these zucchini bakes is out of the oven, and how good does that look? I wish you could smell it. So this one I'm going to let cool, and then I'm going to wrap it well, and we're going to freeze it along with the second one that I'll put in the oven soon. I just need to let this cool down enough that I can take it out with the baking paper. And then the third one we do will be for dinner, and that'll be ready right in time for dinner as well. As with the lamb stew, the beef stew, I'm simply adding the vegetable and sauce sort of component to the meat that I did. I actually cut it all up the other day when I did the first round of meal prep, and already have freezed it into its individual bags. Now I'm taking it out, adding what I need to add, and popping it back in the freezer. That's made it really easy to buy all my meat all at once and not have to worry about it going bad, even though I'm meal prepping over more than one day. Beef stews are ready to go in the freezer. Okay, I have absolutely saved the best for last. Now I had this idea, I'm sure other people have done it, I'm sure I haven't come up with the idea, but I never thought of it before. You know how homemade pizza is delicious, and when you make homemade pizza you think, wow, this is better than ordering out and so much healthier and all the rest. But it is time consuming and it's energy depleting, especially if you make your own dough. Sometimes I make my own dough, sometimes we use pita bread or other things, but whether you're using pita bread or making your own dough, there's still a lot of time in just preparing all the toppings. So I thought, what if I were to prepare the toppings in advance and then pop them in a freezer bag and freeze them. And then when we want to make pizzas, whether I feel like making my own dough or not, doesn't matter. All we have to do is get the bases, whack down some pizza sauce of some description, take the freezer bag out full of all the pizza toppings that are all mixed up, and we just sprinkle them on, put it in the oven, and in 15 minutes flat we've got dinner. So as I do this, I'm going to be putting all the pizza toppings into these trays and freezing them that way because I'm out of snap lock bags. So that'll be fine. It'll work just as well. So there you have it. There are 3 pizza topping dinners. I'm just going to buy pre-shredded cheese, I think, or, you know, possibly block cheese and we shred it at the time, but I cannot fit any cheese in there, so we'll do cheese at the last minute. But this means I don't have to be opening cans of pineapple and sorting out bacon and all of that sort of thing. It's just ready to go. We can mix that around and throw it all over the pizzas, and it makes it far more likely that I will say yes to pizza night. So I'm about to bring that second zucchini bake out, and we'll probably have that one tonight for dinner, and we'll eat it while I put the third one in, while the third one cooks. Thank you for joining me as I prepped 36 meals. I hope among that you've found some recipes you like the idea of prepping yourself to fill your freezer. I'm looking forward to sitting down now, and we're going to have one of those zucchini bakes, and it's going to be delicious. You're all looking forward to that, guys?
Yeah!
Now, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will endeavour to answer them fully for you. I may have forgotten a few things. Anything that I realise I've forgotten, I will also write in the description, so check that out. And I'm looking forward to repeating all of this in about a month's time, so subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and press the bell to receive a notification for when that comes up. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye. Dun, diddle, 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 dun, dun.